again. We're gonna do a little slow yoga flow for a little while if anyone wants to join in. You can also rewatch it later and maybe try some of it. I'm just gonna get into some hips and stretching and stuff like that. Yeah, I was on here earlier for like a little morning stretch and then a little meditation. I do have a Twitch account set up. If you don't have Twitch, it's kind of cool. Most of the time people think it's like a gaming platform, which it was and is popularized for, but there's like some cool stuff on there too, like live music and just like people are putting up random like in real life stuff. So I'm trying to get that going. So if you want to follow me on there, I put it in my Facebook little thing. It's on my Facebook basically. You can click it and go add yourself onto Twitch and then follow me. It's MARRLALAMO on Twitch. But I hope you are finding the quarantine to be slowing and finding some good things to do, like cooking and painting and stuff like that, and doing yoga with me. But you just need a mat today. If you have a bolster or blocks or anything and want to use that, or a blanket, I'm going to do a like 5-minute little meditation at the end with my bowls. I'll play them for you. So just kind of have something comfortable to lay on, maybe a pillow to put your head under, or put a pillow under your knees. But we'll get started, and I want to start standing today. We're going to work our way down. So you can get up and come on your mat. We're just going to start in Tadasana. So in Tadasana, you really want to have your feet firmly planted on the ground. Lift up your toes. Make sure there's even pressure between all 4 balls of your feet. So you can kind of move around a little bit. And then put your toes down, spread them nice and wide on the mat. And then engage your legs and engage your core. Make sure your tailbone's tucked down a little bit. Shoulders are up and back, opening through the chest. And then chin is nice and relaxed. Open your neck just a tiny bit, but you kind of keep the chin tucked. So you're lengthening through the back of the neck. And arms are forward. And just take a couple deep breaths, really pressing through the feet, really grounding. Engage that core till your belly hurts. Then on an inhale, we're going to bring our arms up. Exhale, fold forward. And just be really nice and gentle with yourself. It's the beginning of the day. Maybe you haven't stretched your hamstrings yet. We're just going to do a couple halfway lifts. So you want to lift up, put your hands on your shin, straighten through the back. Exhale down. Keep a nice little bend in your knees. Big inhale up. Exhale down. And inhale up. Exhale down. And then take your feet about as wide as the mat and bend your knees a lot. And then you can just grab opposite elbows and hang here, swaying back and forth. So we're just working on opening up the low back, stretching through the hamstrings. And then on an exhale, you can drop your hands. I'm streaming this on Twitch too, and I have the microphone on my Twitch, so if on Facebook it's hard to hear me, just let me know. And then kind of just rock back and forth on your feet. Hands on the mat, just kind of stretching through the calves, waking up the feet a little bit. Should feel really nice. Awesome. Then bring your feet back together. We're going to bend our knees, rest your belly on top of your thighs. Just pause here for a minute, let your neck hang. On an inhale, open your arms and press through the legs to get you all the way up with a flat back. Arms up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And pause here for a moment. And then on an inhale, drop the hands, bring the arms up again. Fold forward. Take a halfway lift here. And then exhale. Bring your hands down to the mat. We're going to come down to our knees. So we'll come into a tabletop position. Yay, Amanda and Cindy. All right, and then spread your fingertips really nice and wide. You want to press through the pads of the fingertips. So your fingers are spread, your middle finger is going to be pointing straight forward. Knees are about hips width distance apart. And just drop the belly. We'll do some cat-cow, so lift your chin up, maybe look up, and then exhale, round. Inhale, drop the belly, really stretch through the spine. Sometimes I like to rock back and forth while I'm doing this. I can feel a little bit of a deeper stretch in the belly. And if you rock back and forth with your back arch, you can kind of feel a little bit more stretching in the shoulder area. So just take a few of these big inhales, really stretch through the belly, and then big exhales, really press that belly button all the way up to the ceiling, pressing through the hands to get into the shoulders. Inhale, drop belly, and exhale, round. And then inhale, come to a neutral spine. And you're going to plant your left hand really nice and firmly, and then inhale the right arm up to the sky. Pause here for a moment, really reach. Big inhale. And then exhale, bring your arm down and through, and lay right down on your shoulder. So I hope you can see. But this should feel really nice in the shoulder. If you want, you can take your left hand up or bring it around the back in a little half bind. So we're just threading the needle to get into the right shoulder blade. And then inhale that left arm back up, place it down, and we'll inhale, bring that right arm back up, place it down. And take all these movements really nice and slow. Try and use the full extension of your breath with every movement. So big inhale, left arm up to the ceiling. Bend that right elbow a tiny bit so you take the pressure off your shoulder. You can bring that shoulder blade down the back. Take a couple breaths here, really twisting, engage the belly. And then exhale, thread the needle with the left hand. And sometimes I like to push into my right arm a little bit to get even deeper into that left shoulder. So you can do that, or you can bring your arm up and twist it around in a nice little half bind. And just breathe really deeply into that left shoulder blade. And inhale that right arm back up, exhale it back down. And then inhale that left arm back up, and exhale down. And then we're going to take the right leg and extend it straight behind you. You're kicking that heel towards the back wall. Really big breath in. Keep those hips nice and even, so if you have to reach down and kind of feel, you don't want to be cocking your right hip up. Keep it nice and low. So you should feel that right in the hamstring, kind of butt area, glute area. And on an inhale, bend your knee. So you're going to take your heel and you're going to push it up towards the ceiling. On an inhale, push that heel up. Exhale, bring it down. You're only moving about 3 to 6 inches, I would say. So push that heel up to the ceiling. Exhale, bring it down. Just little micro movements. But you should feel your glute firing up here. We'll do 2 more. Inhale, push the heel up to the ceiling. down a little. One more time, big inhale. And then exhale, release. And we'll take it to the other side. So bring your left foot and push that heel back towards the back wall and just pause. Check your hips, make sure they're nice and square with the mat. And then bend that knee so that heel is going to be facing up towards the ceiling. And inhale, push it up. Exhale down, just really little movements. Inhale up. Exhale down. Engage through the belly. Big inhale up. Exhale down. We'll do 3 more. Just firing up the glutes, working those hamstrings a little bit. Last big inhale, push the heel to the ceiling. Exhale, bring it back down. And we'll just pop into a child's pose here. Stretch it out. Maybe rock side to side. And then on an inhale, come back up to tabletop. We're going to tuck our toes, but make sure your hands are in that same placement. Really nice wide fingers. Press into the palms of the hands, and then you're going to lift up the knees slightly off the mat. Engage through the core, and really feel the strength you're building here in almost every single muscle. And then on an exhale, we'll just push back to downward dog. So you're really nice and long through the spine, shoulders are open, heads down. And bend your knees if you need to. This helps align your back, make it a little bit more straight. You're driving that the tailbone straight back and up. Maybe pedal your feet out if that feels good. You can kind of go side to side. Inhale that right leg up to the ceiling. We're going to open the hip and bend the leg if you'd like. If you'd like to keep it straight, you can. But just take some circles or do whatever feels really good to you in that right hip. And then exhale, bring it back to square. So you're just lifting that right leg. Hips are square. And exhale, come up onto the toes of the left foot. Really squeeze that right foot in and then place it right between your hands. And then you can drop the left knee and come on up and place both hands on top of the right knee. Check your hips, make sure they're nice and square. And if you want to tuck the back toe, you can. Adds a little extra stretch right in the front of the left hip. And really breathe into that left hip area. It likes to get nice and tight. Then on an exhale, bring your left hand down. Keep your right hand on your knee and just take a little twist. So with every exhale, squeeze the belly. See if you can twist a little deeper. Really push through that right hand on the knee so you get a little leverage. And then the next step, if you can, is to lift that left foot and see if you can reach back for your heel or the top of your foot. So you're really leaning into that left hip. Twisting open, opening the shoulders. And on an inhale, you can bring your arm back up. Exhale, release it down. And then take that right foot and move it out to the right a little bit. So it's going to be pointing diagonally away from you at about 45-degree angle. And here it just gets right in that inner thigh area, inner hip area. Just rock back and forth. And if you like, you can take your elbows down to the mat. Just really get a nice stretch in the hips. And then inhale, come up. And then on your next exhale, you can just bring that right leg back. We'll come back into tabletop. And pause here, take a breath. Notice the difference between the left and the right side. And then again, we're gonna tuck our toes, take a big inhale. And then exhale, come into downward facing dog. Really stretch through the back, stretch through the backs of the legs. And then inhale that left leg up, open the hip, maybe bend the knee, whatever feels good, roll the hip around. And then on an exhale, come back to neutral. Take an inhale, and then come up on that right foot. Really pull the left knee in and step it between the hands. And then you can drop the right knee down, keep the toe tucked, and come on up, and you can place your hands on your knee. Really feel the nice stretch in that right hip. I was just talking to someone yesterday about having old man hips, and then another thing about hips came up, where I think it's the #1 replacement surgery. So it's an important thing to take care of your little hips, so they keep working until you get very old, and then maybe you need a hip replacement. All right, just breathe here. And then again, we're gonna drop our right hand, keep the left hand on the knee, and take a nice twist. With every exhale, you can engage the core and squeeze it in, kind of wringing out your spine. Just a couple breaths here. Maybe take a little bend in that right elbow. Make sure it's not hyperextending. And then if you want to take it to the next level, you can reach that hand back for the foot. One hip might be tighter than the other one. This hip definitely is a little bit more ouchy than the other side. Really take some deep breaths, focus on the breath into that front hip area. And then exhale, drop the leg, and you can move the left leg over to the side of the mat, keeping it kind of at a 45-degree angle out. And just rock side to side here. If it's accessible to you, maybe drop to your elbows. And just rock back and forth, really getting into all the little nooks and crannies. And on an inhale, come back up to your hands. We'll exhale, take that foot back, and we're just going to sit back on our heels for just a moment and pause. Feel the hip area. Maybe there's some new blood flow coming in there. Maybe it's a little tingly. And on your next inhale, we're going to come back into a table pose. And touch the toes, take an inhale, and then exhale, come into downward dog. Again, bending your knees here is fine, being on your toes is okay. Just really want to lengthen through the spine. Now we're going to come forward into plank position. So make sure your fingertips are nice and wide, gripping through the pads of the fingers. And you bring your hips down, pop up through the shoulders, engage the core. And then see how slow you can lower yourself. So really, really nice and slow, elbows into the side body. You do not want your elbows out. It's really bad for your rotator cuffs. So make sure you're keeping your elbows nice and tucked in. If you need to drop to your knees, that's perfectly fine too. And just slowly exhale all the way down. Awesome, I hope you can see me. And then we're gonna take our right arm out to the side, palm down on the ground, and you roll over. It seems really weird, but you roll over that shoulder. You're keeping your arm out to the side. And it should feel a really nice stretch on the front part of the shoulder. You're also kind of hitting a pressure point there on the mat in the shoulder area. And then inhale back to center. And we'll put our left arm out and push with the right hand, rolling over that left shoulder. And just breathe into that front chest area. And then inhale, come back to center. Take an exhale. And we're just going to come up into a really wide knee child's pose. So knees all the way out to the edge of the mat. Coming forward. Really stretch forward. Maybe walk your fingertips forward a little bit. So you're getting a really nice stretch through the armpit, kind of upper back area. Then inhale, come back to tabletop. And again, we're going to come into a downward dog. So tuck your toes, lift up your hips, press back. And then walk your feet all the way up to your hands. Coming into a forward fold. And on an inhale, we're going to bend our knees, coming on up into chair pose. So in chair, you're really squeezing your knees towards each other, engaging through the belly, and then tucking the tailbone. And you can keep your arms like this if that feels better. You can keep them at prayer. Take a couple deep breaths. And then on an inhale, so we're going to have our hands in prayer. So if you want to grab, if you're in a different position, you can put them there. And we're going to exhale, we're going to twist over to the right side. So you can hook your left elbow on top of your right knee. One more big breath. And then on an inhale, come back to center. Exhale, over to the other side. This pose gathers so much energy from the feet and works it all the way up the body. One more big inhale. Big exhale. Inhale, come on up all the way to standing. And then exhale, bring the hands to heart center. And again, pause here. Feel your heart beating. Feel all the power you just formed in your legs. And take a big inhale up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, we're going to step back just right into downward facing dog. And then inhale, bring that right leg up. Exhale, bring it to the right wrist and set it down. So we're going to come into Pigeon Pose. This isn't accessible to everyone, so the alternative is figure 4 on your back. So you just lay on your back and bring your leg into a 4 position, and you can just pull your left leg in while your right ankle sits on top of your left leg. So both hit the same muscle groups. Whatever one you choose is perfect. And once you're in pigeon, really inhale, puff the chest up. And then exhale, use all that length you just gathered to come forward. And breathe here, really really breathe into the hip. Focus on where it feels tight and breathe your exhales into that to try and release that. A pillow under your hip is really nice too, or a block if you need. Just a couple more breaths. And then on an inhale, you can come on up. We're just going to switch legs by bringing the left leg around from the back, bringing it up to the front, and then bringing the right leg back. So again, your left knee is right by your left wrist. Make sure to peek behind you and get that right leg straight behind you. Sometimes your ankle can sickle a little bit. And then inhale, puff the chest up. And exhale, come forward. And again, if you're in figure four, you just would switch legs. So your left leg would go on top of your right thigh, your left ankle. And then you just pull your right leg in towards the belly. And then inhale, come on up. And we're just going to take our right leg and bring it to the front. If you are in figure four, you can just come right up to seated position. And from here, we're just going to take our legs and put them in a little diamond, so soles of the feet together. You can kind of move side to side, really lengthen through the spine, grab the ankles, and really pull your chest forward. And just pause. And then on an exhale, hinge forward, pressing your elbows down into your knees to give you a little extra leverage. And on an inhale, come on up. And we're going to pull our knees back together with your hands and come all the way down to your back, really nice and slow. Get a little last bit of core work in. And then straighten your legs and pause for just a breath. And then on an inhale, we're going to take and bend our knees. And on an exhale, you can just drop both the knees over to the right side. Maybe looking over to the left hand. And then inhale, we'll switch sides. Inhaling to the top and exhaling over to the left, looking over the right hand, over towards the right hand. And on an inhale, come back. If there's any last little movements you need to take, feel free to take them. Otherwise, you can come into Savasana. So just bring your feet down, let them fall open, hands up, palms up. And just find a place of stillness. Let it feel really good. Maybe take your legs wider than you usually would. And maybe take one last big exhale. Really allowing yourself to sink right into your mat, or if you're in bed or in a chair, just really feel supported. Relax through the face and the jaw and the eyebrows and the eyelids. And then just understand you have nowhere to be for the next 5 minutes. Savasana for as long as you need. But if you're ready, you can take a big, deep inhale. Maybe an exhale out the mouth. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. And then however feels right for you, you can slowly make your way up to seated. You can bring your hands to heart center. Really press the thumbs into the center of the chest. Thank you all for coming. I'll do another one tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock Colorado time for about a half hour, 45 minutes. Just a little flow. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Otherwise, it's always, people always say like the first step is just getting on your mat. Just bring your mat, step on it, and then you can go, and then from there it's just way easier to keep going. So if you're tuning in and want to join tomorrow around this time, 10 o'clock Colorado time, you can join and just play around with me. Hope you guys are all having a good day. We have one more nice day in Boulder and then it snows, so I'm gonna go soak up some sun. Hope you have a great day. Mwah!